Welcome back, everyone, to our Let's Play series of Motorsport Manager. Now, after a very exciting last race where we had quite a bit of fun and were able to pull out the victory just at the last corner of the last lap, which was pretty amazing to be able to do that with our driver, Laura. You can see right now we are in great position in both the driver and team standings. But Steinman is right there with us and looking to pull ahead. Now, the reason they're looking to pull ahead is they have the best drivers and they have the best car. So it's that way every year. I've made a lot of headway into that. If we come back in here and look, we are second, first. So we've made a lot of headway in these three. And then we're second here, a good bit off of first, though it appears based on the graph. But then our two problem parts are right here. And then as we discussed in the previous video, that seems to be some sort of bug because I can't really get any further with either of these two. Even though if we come in and look at our HQ, in 3 days, this is our final performance-related building to max out. Everything else is maxed out, performance-related anyway, not counting the factory and the design center. But performance-related buildings are all maxed out. This one's 2 out of 3 right now, and that's for the suspension. So you can see everything's maxed out, but for some reason, it will not open up past 2 components for designing a new part, even though I have, if we take a look at this screen, the front wing, I've already made 2 parts, but this is as far as I can go. Because it will not open up that third option. And then same thing with the suspension. So I'm stuck in the 2 parts that I need to be doing the most improvements on. I can't really touch. I mean, I could continue to develop more parts, but I only get 2 component slots. So it's really not going to do me any good. So let's take a look through our emails. And oh, here we go. One of those wonderful interviews. I mean, I get the point of them. They give you an opportunity to increase the morale and the happiness stat. I get that, but they don't make any sense because it seems to not really understand what's going on in the race. I mean, like this one, you know, that was a great win. What was the key to success? Okay, that one's fine. But, you know, I'll get sometimes where so-and-so finished 4th and it was a terrible position. Are you disappointed in them or something like that? And it's like, wait a minute, they finished 4th. It's not like that's horrible. It's not a win, but and then sometimes, you know, it's like it flip-flops the drivers. It assumes one of them is the #1 driver, even though they're equal. And so it just does a lot of crazy stuff besides just being repetitive in general. Okay, so I'm going to choose the same ones I always choose here. Nothing to worry about. So there you go. I mean, she finished in 6th, which agreed, based on our expectations, that isn't the greatest. So I'll give them that one. But again, it's just sort of gets repetitive to do the same thing over and over. All right, always nice to get a morale bonus from winning a race. So we're at maxed out 100% morale for our chairman as well as our drivers as well. All right, let's go ahead. Let's see, do we have any sponsors? We still got this one empty slot here. I'm going to see if anything comes in to fill it. That would be the only slot that's open right now, and then we'll have another one open up after this next race. Okay, car repair is complete. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got. I don't think we have any reliability work that we need to do. Thankfully, we're past that part of the season where that's really an issue. All right, looks like, yeah, we're in good shape with all of those. I could do a little bit more on the rear wing, but that seems to be pretty good as far as that goes. So we'll just continue to work on performance. It looks like it'll be done here pretty shortly. Okay. All right, and now we finally have, all right, looks like we got our next vote, and it's going to be about what? Oh, the distribution of money. Okay. All right, so that'll be coming up here pretty shortly. And now we have our, now one of the things that I think is cool is right here with this wind tunnel. Is that not a cool model? I mean, I really love the look of that. I wish we could move around. As far as I know, there's no free roam camera in this view. I really wish there was, because I'd like to zoom in more and, you know, do some things like that and move around. I mean, you look at some of these things, there's some very nice modeling done. So I like what they've done with this. I just wish I could move it around a little bit more. And I mean, like the factory, I mean, this thing is huge. I mean, to think this is a race team now. I mean, this isn't, you know, we're not making Boeing aircraft in this thing, although it looks like from the size of it, we could. So, you know, some nice modeling done there. I do really like a lot of things in this game. Let's move on to, finally, we get some sponsorship offers. All right. So this isn't one that I'm going to ever choose. So all that matters to me is the upfront money. The UK, I think we're already past that race, if I remember correctly. So that bonus won't come into play. Let's see. Do we have any more home bonuses? None and none. Okay, so nothing to do there. As I mentioned, our marketability is basically maxed out. And all that really matters is it's high enough to get us access to the 5-star sponsors. So we got money coming in left and right. One of the things I did want to show you is sort of share some of the things that I've learned while I was having fun in this game, between, you know, winning tier 2 and then moving forward to tier 1 for a few seasons and just having a blast, you know, maxing out the HQ as best I could, and then having some fun with drivers and staff and so forth. If we come into drivers, as I mentioned in previous videos, we've got, let's take a look at Laura. The reason I've got her originally is she was the best pay driver I could find as far as stats. She gives me $865 per race, and her cost is only $485. So we're making money on her per race. And what that really enables you to do is sign whoever you want as the other main driver, because even if their salary is huge, you get a lot of money, you know, several $100,000 to offset that. Now, she's got some additional bonuses, but she's also an overtaking specialist. Now, she does want a little bit of extra money, although that's debatable considering she's a tier 1 driver running for less than $500,000. And, you know, a wonder kid. So she's got a lot of potential. Didn't quite make it to her full potential. But if you look at these stats for a pay driver, this is pretty awesome. And by far the best pay driver I've seen. But if we come in and look at the other one, you know, 20 are very close to it in all of the stats. So pretty awesome there. Marketability, great again. But I chose this driver because the smoothness was low. And again, as I've mentioned in previous videos, it's all about fun now. We're going to have some fun. And this basically forces me to do an additional stop per race. And I'm enjoying that. I didn't even leave myself a choice there. And if you're wondering what I mean by that, as far as, well, or were there any better drivers out there? Well, I don't know about necessarily better, but if we come in and take a look at the driver section, now with a fully upgraded scouting level here, our HQ building for that, whatever they call it here, I think it's just the, scouting facility. Since that's fully upgraded, I mean, I have so many drivers scouted here, it's just insane. Most of them you would not ever want to use, particularly at tier 1 level I'm talking about. Now, if you could get there in tier 3 and have it, then you would be amazing, because you could get some pay drivers that were really good. Hopefully be able to get them, attract them to the tier 3. You can make tons of money and really build up your HQ and all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely worth, I think, upgrading the scouting facilities early on in the game, which I did not do, because it gives you access to some really nice drivers. But here are a couple right here that are very good. You can see here the smoothness is at 14, and I almost chose this driver for this season. I almost signed him. You can see the other stats aren't quite as high as the driver we have, but the smoothness I knew would have made a huge difference. And I knew that if I had that smoothness, I would probably choose to make fewer pit stops, which is my normal strategy, and less margin for error in the pits. And So what I decided to do was not do that, not sign this driver, and force myself to make more pit stops and just go all out. Now, here's another driver which is pretty awesome as well. Great smoothness, not quite as much consistency, but everything else is basically awesome. And then there's some others that I know are probably favorites among other folks playing the game. I mean, you got a guy like this who early on, I mean, you can see he's nearly maxed out on most things, and you have access to him early on. So you've got some other drivers down through here. You can see the ones I've marked. Great smoothness and great consistency there. Not quite up to par on braking and overtaking, but overall, tremendous driver. Same thing here, really high numbers, smoothness, consistency, and so on. So there were plenty of drivers I had to choose from, and it was pretty nice. But I chose to force myself to go in one direction for at least this season. And because of the money we're making, if I have to get rid of that driver and have fun doing something else, I'll do it. So let's go ahead and move forward. I don't think there's anything coming up until we get to this politics vote and the standardized merit payments. Well, you can probably imagine how I'm going to vote on this. Okay, it won't benefit highly ranked teams. Well, we're pretty highly ranked now. So do I want to have do I want to reward the top teams at only a slightly higher rate than the small teams? Absolutely not. So I'm going to vote against that. I don't think this has really much shot of passing. Oh, wow, it was approved. How about that? I guess that'll show me for thinking. So the merit payments are going to be much more even across the board. Looks like, well, a couple of people have stayed there. Wow. Generally, Steinman and maybe Catano, I forget the other team, but they usually flex a lot of muscle here and keep those things from coming through. So there you have it. Luckily for us, we don't need tons and tons of money now because we're through with most of the buildings that I really care about. The other buildings that we still need to work on would be the factory. I still want to get it to level 4. The design center I'm not particularly concerned with because all these two buildings do, other than cost a lot of money, what they do is generate money. So, I'm not terribly worried about getting to those in a big hurry. I'll eventually make the staff center. I probably just need to go ahead and do that. In fact, let's just go ahead and do that. That's not a huge deal because, for us, but we're maxed out where it counts. Let's go ahead and work our way through here, see what our email is. All right, our factory staff don't have anything to do. So let's see if we can give them something to do. This engine is taking a long time. Normally, about the time they get done with something else, I've got a new part that is fresh out of development. Let's see, we can work on these brakes and get them a little bit better. You can see it's not going to take them very long to do that once you have some additional slots there. Let's see what else we got. Nothing to do on the engine. And not a whole lot to do on the front wing. We'll go ahead and do this. Again, it's not going to take a whole lot of time for that. Okay, we'll stick with that. We're almost done. Okay, the engine is actually going to be done right before the next race. Okay, so that will work. Let's actually come back in here and remove this one. That way it'll be done a little bit quicker. We've got more work to do on the brakes anyway. We'll let the lower tier races run their course. All right, and it automatically stops every time you get to the beginning of a month. All right, so now we got our new engine. Let's take a look. See, it's 2008, but it has a huge amount of improvement that it can do. All right, so we got our brakes in there. Actually, I'm not too worried about that. But for now, let's go ahead and add this in here. We'll get the reliability up. You can see it's actually a little bit lower right out of the box. But by the time we get to the end, it will be perfectly fine. All right, and let's look and see. Of course, that shouldn't change anything here. Yeah, it shouldn't. I think we were already number 1 here. Maybe we were number 2. I can't remember. But let's see what we can get. Now, if I come back in, because I've already forgotten, it's a 2094 is max there. I would love to be working on these 2 parts. Let's just give them another shot. Let's see if anything has changed on these. Nope, I'm still unlocked on the 3rd iteration, 4th, 5th. I mean, everything generally has worked okay, but not now. We're locked out of these, even though this would be our 3rd iteration. All right, and suspension. Yep, same thing. Still locked out. So apparently I'm done for the season on those. All right, so we've done our 2 iterations there. I keep thinking that surely I'm losing my mind here. But so far, not that I can tell. All right, let's see if we can pull farther ahead. Here, let's see. Once again, no great options. Although this is pretty nice, but I'm all about performance now. Let's do, let's see. Well, maybe I don't want to continue on this path. I'll tell you what, let's just go ahead. I want to throw something in here real quick, just so I can get this to show up at the bottom and see if it's worth going through this iteration so that I can get to this level in the next iteration. Because we got this always looming -3 risk level, which is really the only reason why I've kept her around as my designer. All right, we've got, wow. Of course, all right, this is the design you would want to use at the end of the season. No way that I can imagine you would want to use this in a race because of that +50 on the red zone. But if you were designing with next year in mind as your baseline, that is huge. This is also very nice, and also very nice there. I don't think this is quite legendary, but very nicely done, particularly with this one. That is great. Again, as long as you're not trying to use it in a race, but if this is a great end of the season build. There, okay, let's get these out of there. Okay, and for now, I think I'm going to come out of that because there's nothing really for me there, at least not for now. If we have some time at the end of the season, maybe I might do a couple of iterations of the engine just so I can get to that huge performance boost there. But for now, let's see, gearbox 1666, 1642. So let's see if we can get up to around 1700 on it. All right, let's see here and here, 1696. Okay, so almost there. That's not bad at all, but it's not all that much higher. It would be a great improvement from here, but from here to there, not that much. Okay, let's see about brakes, because we've already done some work on brakes. Let's see, 1800 is about the mark there. And, oh, here we go. Everything is a difficult level. Okay, well, that's not at all what I wanted. No risk levels. But let's see, if we went full risk level here and said, okay, we are ready for next year, forget this year. Wow, 1952. That is amazing. Yikes. And it's going to take 30 days to do that. So 1952, and before I go ahead and do that, let's make sure that's as amazing as I think it is. Yeah, 1952, you can see that is a monstrous improvement. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do that. Might as well. The game has sort of locked us out of what I want to do. So let's do that. And remember, we still got more to unlock here. So let's go ahead and do this. Okay, let's see what's down below, because we may want to take some of this off and trade time for opening up a component slot. Okay, so nothing really for us there, although that's very nice, but we're performance. Okay, plus 50 there, a plus 40. Okay, so that's going to be another nice end of the year type build. You could go, you know, your plus 50 there, and then essentially do the very same thing I just did. Okay, I like that. Let's start looking ahead for next year then. I mean, that is going to be a monstrous jump. It's going to take a little while to do it, but I believe that is more than worth it. We're already number one on brakes. We're going to be number one by a huge margin if we can do that. I really wish I had more to do on the rear wing, but unfortunately, I think we've done all we can do there. All right. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and prepare for our race. Let's see. So she has emerged. Oh, so she's a fashionista now. Okay, increase our marketability a little bit more. We'll always take that. I mean, we're pretty much maxed out, but hey, any bonuses we can get, we'll take. All right, sponsors. Okay, so it's actually Shiaki, the one that we need to get that one last percentage point on. And we haven't seen any bonuses for her. Okay, with that in mind, we'll choose the third and above. Let's see what parts we're using here. Yeah, the medium speed corner, we're low on that part, but the other two, we're actually in pretty good shape. And again, I'm referring to in relationship to Steinman. All right, so we got very high tire wear. So that means that I'm going to want to, let's see, we'll do this because I have, oops, not that many. Let's see, actually, yeah, because what I believe I'm going to be doing, we got 22 laps. This is going to be a 2 pit stop strategy, I would imagine. There's a chance I could do it on 1 stop using the medium tires for Laura, but I know I'm going to have to go at least 2 stops here for Shiaki, and I believe I may do 3 stops, depending on how the tire wear is. So, but I know for sure I'm not interested in using medium tires, not for her. We're going all out. And then for Laura, we'll see which of these tires we use. But this should be fun. Let's make sure about our parts. Let's see. Is our new engine ready? Not quite. Since it is one of the crucial parts here, I'm a little timid about using it. Well, in fact, we don't even have to worry about it. That's right, because I've forgotten. It's starting out a little bit lower, so it won't be usable for at least another week, I would say, or at least another race, I mean. So, okay, so we don't have any decisions to make, I don't believe. Yeah, we're in good shape there. So we've got everything ready to go. Let's head to the racetrack. We are ready to start the race. Sponsor objective, we need to finish at least 1 car in the top 3 in order to get that $1 million. Our bonuses, the ones that I would like to have for Laura, now both available. We can have the 50% quicker refueling, because refueling is generally the slowest of everything we do on the pit stop. And then also we can have an overall faster pit stop using the risk taker perk. So if we look at Shiaki, we have the 15% bonuses for both the super softs and on race trim itself. So we're going to be extremely aggressive with Shiaki, a little less aggressive with Laura, because she's a little easier on tires. So if we take a look at the setups, both setups came out pretty good, 95%. You can see I sort of got bored during the practice session. And once I got to 95, I thought, you know what? I just don't want to mess with it all that much more. So I'm going to plan on doing 5 laps in this first stint. I know it's a possibility we can do 6. But I'm going to plan on doing 5. I've got enough fuel for 6 just in case that works out. And I'm going to do something a little bit different here at the start of the race, and we'll take a look at that momentarily. But first, you can see here we're at 94% with Laura on her setup. And I'm going to start her out on the soft tires because I'm going to try to do a couple of 8-lap stints for her at the beginning of the race on the soft tires before moving finally onto the super softs if all goes according to plan. So I'm giving her 8 laps of fuel there. Really don't need her to go any more than 8 laps on a stint. in order to do this on 2 stops. There's a possibility I could do it on 1 stop by using the medium tires. I'm just not interested in that. I want to go fast. So that's what's fun for me now. So that's what we're going to do. But we're going to be doing more than that. We're going to be doing 3 stops for Chiaki simply because of the tire wear. I don't think I actually pointed this out, but other than saying we were going to do 5 laps on this stint. So I'm hoping that we can do a couple of 5-lap stints and a couple of 6-lap stints. So all on super softs. But again, we'll see how that goes. And I'll be able to gauge that simply from this first stint. So I'm going to be making an extra pit stop that I normally would have no reason to make. So we're going to go ahead and start off like that. Now, at the beginning, I'm going to go ahead and just do neutral driving style, probably for the at least first half lap, if not first full lap. And the reason for that is, if we take a look in here, everybody starts off basically pegged. I mean, they are as aggressive as you can possibly be, full attack mode. Well, that means if everybody's attacking, then it's kind of like nobody's attacking because everybody's doing the same thing. So we're going to try to save just a touch of tire, and then after, again, about a half lap to a full lap, when things start to spread out just a little bit and we're not all 2 and 3 wide, then I will start to hit it, and we'll see what we can get. But for now, I'm going to try this. I don't think I've done this before on the strategy, at least not in a long time. So we're going to give this a shot and see how it works out. All right, let's see. Let's get through this screen. We know we're starting at the very back, which is actually a privilege given how the grid is set. All right, any positions we can make up during this time is just gravy because everybody is on full attack mode. Let's see if they start. Yeah, you can see a few of them starting to come off of that. And looks like most everybody has now come off of that. So now that's when I will move onto it. Now, I'm not going to push as much with Laura. Let's see if Chiaki here can make up more spots than he did last race when he was on attack mode. Or she was on attack mode, rather. All right, we're up to 16th. Now, this track's got more wide open space, like through this area. So if you're fast, you should have some room to make some spots up here. But here you can see we're 3 wide here. I'm not interested in making it 4 wide, really. But there is more room to pass because there's more wide open area. Okay, we ought to be able to get all 3 off. For some reason, we had to check up there. Okay, better to check up than to run over the guy in front of you. I get it. Okay, let's go ahead and back off there. And let's go ahead and back off because I think, let's see. If I see that we're being timid, then I'll go ahead and crank it back up. But just as I thought, we're going to pass who we're going to pass on the straightaway here. All right, so we're up to 9th, and we're on lap 5. Now, we've got the fuel, obviously, and the question is, do I think we can get what we need from the tires? I don't want to go past 25. And actually, I think we can make that. That's 11% more that we don't want to go below. So I'm going to take a chance here and see if we can get, okay, a great lap there. You could see all purple there. That means we had the fastest lap in the field. We're up to 6. Let's go ahead and plan our first pit stop. And again, we're just extremely aggressive here. Well, we need 7 at least here, I think. So we're going to go ahead and do that for now. And our last pit stop would be slower if need be. Okay. Okay, why are we losing? Oh, we just reached that 25, magic 25. So we're going to make our 6 laps on this stint, but not a moment too soon. Okay, so now Laura comes in. She moves up to 3rd as you start to see some of the strategy moves take place. All right, we're out of the pit stop. Good pit stop. 6.9 seconds. I like that. All right, so we got 34%, 33% tire, and we're on lap 8. And as I mentioned, we don't really need to go any further than lap 8, and we're not going to have an opportunity to because the tire is going to be perfect there. So pushing for a couple of laps and then backing off was really the way to go there. All right, let's see. Unfortunately, I need to put a little bit more in there than I would really like to, but we should have a lightning quick pit stop. Hopefully, we don't have any errors on the pit stop. All right, so we're making up positions now. We'll swap back over with the pit stop coming. Looks like we're picking up some spots here, even without pressing on the tires, which is good because we got that straightaway coming. We should be able to pass this car on the straightaway, and we do. All right, so now you can see where have we come out on the track? 6th and 7th. All right, so now there's a little bit of a gap here. Let's see if we can close that gap down to those in front of us. And let's go ahead and have her push, because I believe both of these drivers will run just as fast as they possibly can, realistically. Okay, now, here we are at lap 10. Now, you remember, if I was going to do a couple of 5-lap stints, a couple of 6-lap stints, well, the couple of 5-lap stints would be ending now, but we're well on our way to lap 12. Tire wear is looking good. And you can see there's no reason for us to push on tires here because Laura is the one holding us up. All right, now we got some clean track for Laura. She's pushing. Actually, it would be better off for us if we could get by here and get Hashimoto to get by. Okay, and that could probably happen a lot easier if I wasn't pushing. But now you look here, we're at 38%. This is the lap we want to pit on. And we're running some very good laps. Now you can see the leader is just in front of us there by about 7 seconds. All right, and the tire wear is going to be perfect. All right, so before I miss it, if I haven't already, let's go ahead and move over here. So now we only need a couple of really 5-lap runs to get to the end because we got 10 laps remaining. And we're going to stick with the strategy here. So 5 laps. Go ahead and... All right, let's move over to Laura. And we're going to go ahead and push by default here. All right, so we're looking for about lap 15 to 16. And the reason I'm looking for that is I'm going to change on to these. So if we pit with 5 to 6 laps to go, we can get, I think, full benefit of our final set of tires. All right, good news here is that we're in some nice clean air. The other good news, if we swap back over for just a moment, is now we're coming out. You can see it a little better here. So we've got plenty of clean track ahead of us here, only 2 cars. And we're pushing, and I think we're going to be faster than those cars. Yeah, so see, we got a good clean run through there. Let's swap back over to Laura, running in second, at least for the time being. Looks like third place car on soft tires is, or excuse me, I guess I forgot the name of them now. Not the Ultra Softs, but... Okay, so here we are, 38%. We're not pushing with her. All right, we're going to calm this down a little bit. Here you can see he's doing great clean track ahead, and his tire temperatures are getting up a little bit higher than I would like. All right, so we're going to run this final lap with Laura. All right, and once again, the tire percentage, I'm trying to keep it above 25%, and it looks like we're going to be right on that number. Let's go ahead and make our final pit stop. We're going to have, I believe that is, 6 laps remaining. So let's go ahead and put on our tires. You can see it says it will last 7. That's going to enable us to push it a little bit more. So 6 laps. There we go. I think that should be enough. And again, ultra quick pit stop. And let's swap back over. And yeah, blazingly fast. Look at the difference in speed here from 5th to what 4th place is running right now. Just blazingly fast laps. All right, now we are up to second. Now we've got Laura, who is now out in fourth. But remember, even though she's a little behind right now, we've got one more pit stop to make. And looks like the number 1 driver does as well, and probably the number 3 driver, although we'll have to see how that goes. All right, for right now, I'm not going to push with Laura because she's got some nice open track there. All right, so now the question becomes to see if I pitted right now, we would have 5 laps remaining. So let's go ahead. I'll tell you what. We're actually looking pretty good here. Let's go ahead and push this. And this should get us right to where we want to be. All right, yep, that's going to get us right to where we want to be, I believe. All right, now, so we're ready to pit for our final time. 4 laps remaining. Oh, that much. Okay. So I think do we want to go an extra second here or tone down our fuel usage a little bit? Okay, I'll tell you what, we'll just go. I want to save that extra second in there if we can. Everything looking pretty good. I'm not going to take the risk because I've had no luck with that so far in Tier 1. So we'll stick with that and try to get our pit stop as slow as possible. All right, so you can see we're down below that number now. All right, let's go ahead and push some here in second. All right, so far so good. You can see we're falling behind here for sure. Let's go full attack mode. Again, normally I would never use that big of a strategy jump there and use that many pit stops, but in the spirit of it. All right, 3 laps remaining. We are right on the number. And I'm going to keep pushing as hard as I can. Okay, let's go ahead and... yeah, why not? Let's just go ahead and leave him on, or excuse me, her on full attack mode. All right, so now we've gone down to second on equal tires. And it looks like Becker is not pushing. Okay, so they're just that much faster than us. All right, and I don't feel comfortable pushing the car any harder than we are right now. All right, we are in second and fourth, which is pretty good. Again, I wasn't sure Shiaki was going to be able to do that well. All right, final lap. All right, looks like here we've got... there, we're going to have to, on this final lap, drop down to medium on him. And let's see, where is third? Okay, third's well ahead, so he's got really no shot of catching third. But in the meantime, Laura is winning. She looks like she is going to pull this thing off. That is pretty awesome. And we learned something else. We learned that we can finish fourth, even being super aggressive and using one more pit stop than really was necessary. But hey, I thought that was pretty fun seeing how that was going to turn out. So hopefully you enjoyed the super aggressive strategy versus what I would consider my normal strategy that I use with Laura, that in this case got us the victory. But that's what this season is all about. Not just winning the championship or attempting to win in the championship. It's going to be close. As you can tell, who were we struggling with there at the end of the race? Well, there they are. Steinman is right there. Looks like Panther is close behind. So we bring home the victory. That's going to be great for the team standings. And that gives us now an 8-point lead in the driver championship. Let's see what our lead grew from 20 points to 24 points in the team championship. So I'm in big time favor of that. And overall, that's what's most important. Excellent job there. Of course, we'll probably still be, I think, second on the team. because of how they average out the finishing positions, but at least we got a shot at. No, actually, we got the number 1 position there. And nothing really changes in morale. Both relationships, the mechanics are all 100%. So everything is basically as good as I could get it. And we come home with $2.1 million to boot. Hard to beat that. All right, so thank you very much for joining me in yet another exciting race. And stay tuned for more Motorsport Manager.